Now we're recording. We are exploring a What do you do? What do you do?
Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody.
We are going to explore a small section of the AT Trail today. That's what we're doing. We came from there. That's part of the Iris Trail. And let's we're all prepped. We have enough stuff on us to survive a night if we got stuck out here, but that's not our intention. We're just out here for a day hike. It never looks as big on camera as it does in real life. Like, we're standing in front of this thing and it is massive, huge, but on the camera it's so tiny. It doesn't look near as crazy. Very cool. Wind is blowing really hard, but where we're standing, wind's not touching us. This is awesome.
There, hang it down.
Yeah, this is huge. So this is right in front of me, and this is how far I gotta go up.
I can tell you the height of that if you want to know.
All right, what's the height of that?
Oh, I have to get the map out for that.
Oh.
But I have one. Hey, everybody.
Dear Sweet Hubby has an app for everything. Everything.
Can I go over there?
You can go over there. Cookie, move over.
I wish that she didn't have to wear her backpack, then she could get off free.
Well, I want her to get really used to carrying her backpack. Just in case an emergency, I wanted her to have her supplies. She got a raincoat, boots, some Musher Secret for first aid. Wow. So if you're 6 feet tall,
I am. Not anymore.
5'11", 5'10". That's cool. Yeah, this is neat. You know what Mr. Pearson says? That a phone is just an expensive, cool-looking battery case for when your battery dies, or something like that. Expensive case for a dead battery.
Well,
say that again.
It's only saying about 13 feet.
And that's got to be wrong, because if we're gonna say 6 feet just to be safe. Your head comes about there, and then it's gonna go up again about there. I'm saying it's closer to 18 to 20 feet up.
Oh, wait, I got 18 feet.
Ah, I nailed that. I said 18 feet. I am so good.
Yeah.
I'm actually really good with judging distance, by the way. Really good. It's from 21 years working in a construction field. Sort of. Retail construction.
There you go.
So we dressed and packed for it to be cold, but it's actually getting really warm and I got to take layers off. And I'm going, oh, I wish I didn't bring that extra sweater with me. And like my signature saying whenever we do any adventure is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So it's a good thing that I brought extra clothing, because you never know what could happen. So remember, pack it. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Dear Sweet Hubby said he wanted to go check something out. You can hardly see him out there. His brown coat. Well, you've got sun glare. You really can't see. It's really pretty. Well, we've come to an intersection with some blue markings but no name, so I don't know what trail this is. But I think we might stay on the AT trail. At least past those rocks. See what's on the other side of the rocks. Dear sweet hubby is pulling up an app.
Well, it's not showing it on my app. It's showing the Appalachian Trail, but it's not showing any other trail.
Alright, well, our mission today was AT Trail, so I think we should stick to that, and we can come back and explore this another day.
It's better to get another app, though. I have so many.
My husband probably has more apps on his phone than, I don't know, than there are pages in the Bible.
Oh, easy. Okay. 0.7 miles away. Let's locate ourselves. Okay, that is right here. It's a blue dot trail.
But no specific name.
It's just called the Blue Dot Trail, and it takes you down to the Sawmill camping area.
Oh, okay. We don't want to go down there.
Around Sawmill Lake.
Oh, maybe that's that lake that's over there that I see.
Yeah, that's Sawmill Lake.
That is Sawmill Lake.
Take you there.
Oh, look at that. That app came in handy. How cool is that?
Yeah. That's the paprika. It's not just a spice.
Say that again?
Paprika. It's not just a spice.
Okay, he's making fun of the name Maprika, which is a really cool app if you're lost in the woods and still have battery. Look, forest crystals. So cool. You found a balloon? That's so sad.
Non-balloon.
It's a non-balloon now. Now it's a piece of rubbish.
Rubbish.
Well, we're out of the wind. We're thinking that we might want hot chocolate.
Yeah, maybe over there.
Just thought this little section here with all this moss and rocks on the trail was really pretty. So I want to talk a little bit about trekking poles. Here's my trekking pole. Okay? I'm going to talk a little bit about that.
Some water.
Yeah, in a second. So, in the past, hubby and I, where's hubby? There he is. Hubby and I never used trekking poles. But we were young, we were fit, and we had a lot of energy, and we were just like, oh, a trekking pole, who needs that? It's just something extra to carry out on the trail. But we're older now. See the gray hair? And we finally decided this year to get trekking poles. But we're kind of poor, so we didn't want to buy 2 sets. But we did go to Sierra Trading Post and found a nice set of Lexi trekking poles. But we only bought 1 set. And here's the reason why. 1, couldn't afford 2 sets. But in hiking with the dog, sometimes she's off leash and sometimes she's leashed. And I'm klutzy. So I don't want to have 2 trekking poles, 1 in each hand, and have to try to hold her leash. Now I do, when I'm hiking, attach her leash to either my backpack or to a waist strap. So if something does happen that I have to drop the leash, she's still attached to me. But having to carry 2 poles and watch that leash and make sure it doesn't get all tangled up around the pole, I'm physically and mentally incapable of doing. So I have 1 pole in 1 hand and leash attached to the other side of me. So my trekking pole is usually in my right hand. Her leash is attached. Can you see that? Leash is attached to my backpack strap on the left side. And this way it's easy for me to make sure the leash doesn't get tangled up around the pole and we fall down. This backpack was also missing a sternum strap, and look at what I did. I put a sternum strap on it. I sewed that on myself. I got my little whistle here, clip. So how cool is that? Sternum straps are cool. So trekking poles, I found a really nice to steady you going up and down, testing the depth of water if you have to go across it, testing the mud to see if you're going to sink into it, you know, whacking a rattle, you know, whacking a snake off the trail, not hurt it, but just knock it off the trail. Or if a unleashed nasty dog comes running up, I could poke it with my stick and protect my dog. If your dog is nasty, you shouldn't have it off leash. Yeah, so we use trekking poles now. My hubby has a trekking pole. Where's his? Wait a minute. I gotta turn this thing around. Where's your pole? Here's your pole. Always know where your pole is. Say hi. Say hi, this is my pole.
Hi, this is my pole. There are many like it. This one is mine.
And where's Cookie? Cookie's over there. I hope you can see her. It's really pretty. She has her backpack on. Anyway, I just wanted to say a short message about trekking poles, and I wasted 3 minutes of your time already. Yay! Let's get back to hiking. Taking a banana break.
People
People?
at the top of the hill.
Not in the woods? I'm just joking. Cookie. Cookie. You want some banana?
I gave her a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I gave her a lot.
I'm gonna give her a little one. Yes, my dog likes banana. So I saw this huge rock, little rock outcropping here off the trail. Huge rock we're standing on. It's awesome. At the top of a mountain. It's my dog. That is, I think, Sawmill Lake, but look at that view. It gets lost on camera a little bit, but oh, like my father used to say, you could see for days. Not miles, but days. There's a lake way, 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 way out there. Way out there. I wonder what lake that is. Oh, this is beautiful. Beautiful. Good morning. It is almost like a spring day, and it's the beginning of January. There should be snow on the ground. I mean, it's pretty cold out, but the sun is shining. It's a nice, pleasant enough day. The wind's not too bad. So I wanted to share with you a few things. I did a video last week where we took a little hike, and I talked about trekking poles for about, I don't know, 30 seconds. So I never used to use trekking poles, and now that we're a little older, we like using them, and we bought a set. And I talked about this in the beginning of the video, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But I did want to show you a modification I did to my backpack. So let me show you first. Now I gotta move the camera. I had shown you guys this pack here a while ago. Let me move over here. This is like my favorite day pack. When summertime, I'm going hiking with the dog, I can carry 2 water bottles in it. If it's really hot and want to bring a 3rd water bottle, I have a water bottle sling that I can just throw over my shoulder. It just holds a water bottle. In here I have enough room for my little emergency kit, you know, my wallet, my keys, and some snacks, and you know, doggy poop bags. And I wear it around. This is a waist pack, and I'd love this for the summertime, because then I don't have a backpack hanging on my back and making me all hot and sweaty, and I just love it. Okay, but it just doesn't work for the winter time. So think about it. In the winter time, you know, I like to dress in a lot of thinner layers rather than one big bulky jacket. I have multiple layers. You know, I'll have on an Under Armour shirt, usually a hooded Under Armour shirt, and then maybe another fleece shirt on top of that, and then my sweat coat, my sweat jacket, and then my fleece vest. I love this fleece vest. I don't even know where I got it, but I just absolutely love it. So I'm in a lot of layers. And, you know, and then I might have my camo coat on top of that, you know, depending on how cold it is or whether or not it's going to rain. And wearing a waist pack with all those winter layers on, and if you got to stop and pee or you just want to turn the pack, because that's a fanny pack, so it sits on your back. And did that keep going? I don't know. I just got some weird message that popped up on the front of the phone. So the fanny pack, you know, it sits on your back, the small of your back. So it's wintertime. If I got to turn it around and bring it around in front of me on top of the coats, it's too hard to turn it around. It's pulling the coats. If it's under my coat, I got to unzip my coats to get into it. So for wintertime, it just doesn't work. So for the wintertime, and plus in the wintertime, I'm bringing more stuff with me. My survival pack is a little, you know, my survival supplies that I want to bring. I have more. I want to bring an extra hat and gloves, extra pair of socks that I might not bring with me during a summer day trip. And so I need something bigger and easier to get on and off. Now, my original idea was this. Believe it or not, this is a biking handlebar bag that I got really, really cheap at Sierra Trading Post. It's got these 3 straps on the back that go on your bike. These 2 go on the bike handlebars, and this is intended to go around the stem that goes to the handlebars. The problem with it is, while I love it, as a biking handlebar bag, it doesn't really work because it's so long that when it's hanging on my handlebars of my bike, this bottom part is actually touching my front tire. So it's just too big. And I thought, what I did, I modified it. I sewed on some grosgrain ribbon with and put some D-rings on there, and I had this strap that had hooks that came from some other bag. I don't know where it came from, but it came from some other bag. So I clipped this on. I have my whistle here for emergencies, and for the wintertime use, it's awesome to use because you can just throw it over your shoulder. So I could have a million jackets on, in this bag, just throw it over your shoulder like this, and it sits down here. It's easy to get to. I absolutely love it because it's so much easier to use, and it doesn't have a water bottle holder in it, and I don't like to put water in it. So what I do in the wintertime, if I'm using this and not my backpack, if I'm just doing a short day trip, I'll use this, and I'll use that water bottle sling and throw that over my shoulder, but I actually will keep the bottle inside my coat. That way my water doesn't freeze. So I put the water bottle sling under my coat and then this on top. And you know, if I got my hat or my gloves or dog poop bags, or I need my emergency kit or snacks or whatever, they're right here, easy to get, and my water bottle will be hanging inside my coat. I just need to unzip a little bit, drink, pop it back. You don't even have to take the water bottle out of the sling. It's really, I should have it in the video because it's really a really cool thing. But if you look up water bottle sling, you know, there's all different types. I like the nice neoprene one. So this is awesome for winter use. It's big enough to fit a small first aid kit. What is really cool about it is these straps on the outside still get utilized because I use those as compression straps, and that's where my poncho goes. So my poncho gets strapped to the outside, and then all my gear for just a short day hike in the bag. It's awesome. Cookie, are you ignoring me? Because this isn't a video about you. And you had to sit on my table I was using. The little table I'm using. As soon as I pick the bag up, she jumps up there and turns her back to me like, how come this isn't about me? How come this isn't about me? I don't know. I don't know. How could you not love that face? And kisses. Now, if it's the weekend and I'm not just doing a short day hike that's local, you know, where I would use that camo over-the-shoulder bag. If it's the weekend and the hubby and I are doing something, we're adventuring, we're doing an adventure hike, so we might be exploring a place we've never been. We are traveling much further away from home, so it's not local. And, you know, we don't know what the day is going to hold, or we want to bring hot chocolate with us and we want to make a little fire and have some hot chocolate, or we're going to picnic because we're going to be out all day. And we don't know if we're going to get lost and we might be stuck out there overnight. And so we want to bring more supplies with us, but it's not a camping trip, so we're not bringing my camping backpack. But the day bag just is not big enough to carry all our supplies. There's not enough room for food, hot chocolate, firebox, things like that. So that's when the backpack comes into play. And I mentioned before about the trekking pole, so I want to show you how I modified my backpack to hold my trekking poles if I'm not going to be using it and I just want to carry it. So here's the backpack that I use if we're doing an adventure trip, the hubby and I, on the weekends. It is just, it's not a fancy bag. It does have a little bit of back padding and a little bit of padded shoulder straps. Now, it did not have a sternum strap, so I modified that. I added a sternum strap here, sewed a little bit of webbing onto each side, and put in an adjustable buckle. Of course, I have my whistle attached right here. But when we started using trekking poles, there are times on the trail where I don't want to actually be using the pole and I want to stick it in my backpack. But I don't want to put it in the backpack. So I'm going to show you what I did after showing you the rest of this pack. So it's from the Sierra Club. It was a gift when I joined Sierra Club. And I got my room here for my doggy poop bags. And I added some zipper pulls. On the two top ones, I added these. Remember I showed you in a previous video about these shower rings, the shower curtain rings? They make great zipper pulls because you can hang stuff on them. You can use it to hang stuff. If you've got your mittens on and it's hard to grab these little zipper pulls, these things make it so easy to grab and pull if you have gloves or mittens or something on because it's wintertime. There is a spot for one water bottle here, but I also will sometimes bring that water bottle sling inside my jacket for extra water. And so I've got all my supplies in there for a day adventure. But this is the modification I made. The trekking poles came on a cardboard card with these little clips, and they intend you to just throw these clips away with the cardboard. But I had this idea that I wanted to be able to attach my pole to the outside of this bag. So I took one of those clips off the cardboard and I wrapped grosgrain ribbon around it twice. So I went around it and then ran around it again and pulled it as tight as I could and sewed it together so that it couldn't come out. And I yanked and yanked on it, made sure it couldn't come out. And then I sewed it to the bag. That's it. And the reason why it's just in this V shape is because it goes around and then around again. And I pulled it really tight here. Couldn't tie it because then the knot wouldn't fit in this little groove. See this little groove? That's where the cardboard was. So I just kept it in that shape so it was really tight on this and can't open up, and sewed it here. Then I sewed it, and that's sewed it there by itself to keep it tight, and then I sewed it onto the bag, and I sewed it here and here to hold it onto the bag. And so I clip my pole into it, and then I take this compression strap that was part of the bag originally, and I go around the pole like this and clip it, and it holds the pole in place, and it's so easy to get off if I need it. So that's how I modified my backpack to hold my trekking pole. And so winter bag choices had to change because my fanny pack that I love just doesn't work. So that is what it looks like with the pole attached. So it clips in. It's really secure. I wrap this cord around it, keeps it from swinging back and forth, and it holds it very secure while I am hiking. And it's pretty easy to get back off. Of course I have to take the backpack off, but that is my trekking pole modification to my backpack. So when we were hiking last weekend, when I started talking about the trekking poles, I was discussing with my husband, what should my next video be about besides the bag modifications and trekking poles and the hike that we're doing. And he was like, well, maybe you should do a video on what you brought with you today. And I thought, yeah, maybe. And as I'm going through my head what's in my bag, I realized that I was carrying 5 ferro rods. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, you are so over prepared. I said to my husband, I said, you realize I have 5 ferro rods in my bag? You do not need 5 ferro rods. 1, maybe 2. If you're really anal about preparing, maybe 3, but you don't need 5 ferro rods. And then I started thinking about what I had in my bags. I did the video on my little survival bags and my day pack bags that are, in Ziploc bags. And, I grab it and go. And, and I realized that in my backpack, I had just doubled up on stuff. I had, besides the 5 ferro rods, I had my little emergency e-kit, but then I had my survival bag, which had an emergency, some first aid kit and stuff in it. But then I had grabbed my bare essentials bag that you should just have with you if you're going out for the day. And I was like, I'm doubled up on so much stuff. So I have got to simplify my bags. I don't need 5 ferro rods when we go out. And we had 2 lighters. And then my husband had a ferro rod and a lighter. Possibly 2 lighters. It was just overkill, way overkill. You don't need to, and if you're going backpacking, you don't want to be carrying extra weight that you don't need to carry. So I have got to simplify my bags. I'm going to do a separate video on that. Once I get them all figured out, then I'll do a video of what's in them. But for now, in addition to the other stuff that I talked about in this video, so I have a little e-kit that's got like a couple band-aids and antiseptic wipes just for a short local day hike. And then I've got my survival bag, which has a little bit more first aid stuff in it for like the big day trip. But then I have my camping first aid kit. So I'm going to show you my camping first aid kit. Let's see if the dog will give me the stool back so I can show you on there. So I don't have a tripod yet. I really need to get one. This bag was given to me by somebody, this gray bag, and I decided it would be a really good bag for first aid kit for when we go camping. This is not what I bring with me for a short hike or a day hike. This is my overnight camping first aid kit. I wanted something that was small enough to be easily packable in a backpack or in a biking saddlebag, but comprehensive enough that for a 2 or 3 overnight camping trip, we have pretty much everything you could possibly need. So let me see if I can take this apart and show you what's in here. So in this little pocket, I do have an emergency whistle, which is probably pretty redundant because we carry whistles on our bags. But we have some Benadryl tablets for the dog and the husband. And I'm really into homeopathic stuff and holistic stuff. So I have some homeopathic remedies in here, just some basic ones. I'm not going to go through all of them and what they're for, but I just have ones for fever and hot flashes, swelling from insect bites, This one is for tick bites, heartburn, or this is actually for food poisoning. This one here is Nux vomica, but it also comes in handy for some other things. It works for some other things. This one here is for tick bites also, or any insect bite that you're afraid you might catch something from it. Arnica montana. Arnica is just amazing for injuries, anything that, any kind of trauma, bruising, broken bones. It's just great for pain and reduce inflammation, swelling. I've used it on my dog for some injuries, and it's amazing how well it really does work. People tell you it doesn't work. It really does work, because when you use it on your dog and it works, you can't say it was a placebo effect, because how does the dog know? But so there's my homeopathic remedies. In this little pocket, I have in here, and my husband and I talked about water for purification tablets, like the chlorine tablets, and getting a filtration system for water. Normally when we go camping, we bring all of our own water, and it's just amazing how much water we bring and how heavy it all is. And of course the trip back's easier because we drank all our water. But we've talked about needing to get a water filtration kit. We haven't decided which one to get yet. But in an emergency, if you run out of water, I have in here some iodine and vitamin C with instructions on how to use it. But what's in this little pocket is a little package of honey, one of those children's medicine spoons. You see that in there? And when we get ready to take a trip, I will add a small plastic bottle of hydrogen peroxide. I don't pack the hydrogen peroxide in here until we're ready to go, because I don't want it to lose its effectiveness. And in here is instructions on how to make your dog vomit using hydrogen peroxide. And the reason why the honey is, you add a dab of honey, it'll help them to drink the hydrogen peroxide. And what this is for is to make the dog vomit. God forbid you're out there in the woods and she eats something you know she shouldn't have eaten, and it's something that could endanger her, or make her violently ill. Maybe she picked up some kind of poison out of a trap, or you never know what they could pick up out there. So this goes with us if I have to make the dog vomit up something evil. Okay, and like I said, we put the hydrogen peroxide in it when we're ready to go. I originally thought it was my iodine kit, but it's not. Zipper pull. Okay, so in here now is all the good stuff. We have socks for the dog. These are rubber coated socks for the dog in case we are in winter conditions and her feet get really cold. We come to an area where there's salt on the road and she's got to walk on it. Or she gets cut and you bandage it and you want to keep it from getting dirty and wet. So rubber coated socks for the dog. Cotton balls, a little bag of cotton balls. Ace bandage that attaches with Velcro rather than a pin. For the dog, cotton socks for the dog. These are actually human baby socks. They're all cotton, so if she gets a wound on her foot, use this cotton sock as the foot bandage, and then put one of the rubber coated socks on top. We have some rolled gauze. In this bag there is what is called vet wrap, and it's for wrapping up bandages on either the dog or human. So there's 2 rolls of it, a wide one and a narrow one. There's another ace bandage, that's the sticky kind of ace bandage, just sticks to itself, and a roll of first aid tape. These are homeopathic eye drops. In case you get something in your eye, dirt, or it gets injured, you use the eye drops. In this little bag, everything's in little bags to keep it easy to find and keeps it organized. There's a tick removal tool, some candles, a lighter, a couple of little tweezers, and first aid scissors. So that's what's in this little bag. This is a little package of 2 little containers of Manuka honey and Mushroom Secret. Mushroom Secret is good for her feet if they get a minor cut or if it's cold. It's also good for wounds. Manuka honey, great for wounds. Keeps them from getting infected, and if they're already infected, it will clear up the infection and help it heal, like within 24 to 48 hours, depending on how deep the cut is. In here, there is some first aid cream, antibiotic cream, alcohol prep pads, and crazy glue. And you're going to say, well, what is the crazy glue for? Well, one, in case you break some of your equipment out on a trip, but crazy glue is also good for closing small wounds. I have a multi-tool. In here is the iodine. And where's my vitamin C bag? Oh, there it is. So in here is my bag of iodine and a little card with instructions on how to use it to disinfect water. In here is the bottle of vitamin C. It could probably go in the same bag. And a little measuring device. And the vitamin C helps to get rid of the iodine taste. And I'm sure it helps to disinfect the water too, but I don't know for sure. So don't quote me on that. Q-tips. Moleskin for blisters on your feet. Triangular bandage with pin. This little bag has some butterfly closures and a bunch of band-aids and some gauze bandages in little packets. It's a little box of tissue, a little package of tissues. I just realized the glare is probably cutting a lot of this out for in the sun. This here is an eyedropper of Listerine. Of course, Listerine doesn't come in an eyedropper, so I had to repurpose an eyedropper bottle. But this has Listerine in it, and yeah, you can use it for your oral hygiene, but I find Listerine is great for wounds, cut infection, if you get a little swamp foot, your feet get sweaty and you get some athlete's foot starting, a little athlete's foot will help get rid of that. And if you get a tick bite, besides taking a homeopathic remedy, put some of the Listerine on the tick bite and help kill any microbes that the tick tried to give to you. The wind blew an empty water bottle across the driveway from the recycling pile. She's barking at it because, those empty water bottles are dangerous. Okay, so now we have some styptic swabs. You all know what those are for. I don't need this anymore, because this is a feminine device. And I don't get that anymore. But I leave it in there because if you have a really, really bad wound that's bleeding really, really bad, it's really absorbent. But sorry if I said that on here. And so that was a nice shot of my dog's butt. I hope you enjoyed that. And then popsicle sticks for little splints, big ones and little ones, for dogs and humans. And that's what's in my first aid kit. And I realized going through this, I think I need more bandages and gauze bandages and more band-aids. So I can take a few things. I can add a few more in there. But that's my first aid kit. If you see that there's something in there that doesn't need to be, or I should add something more, feel free to leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think, okay? I think that is it for this video. Let me see if I can get you up here. Here we go. That's it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some good ideas for your own kits. And, yeah, I got one more thing I'm going to show you. It really does fit back in there. It's like a puzzle, though. So that was my first aid kit that I take camping. And you'll notice it was just first aid stuff. There's nothing about survival in it, because if I'm out camping, I would have brought a tarp and bedding and fire starters and such. So that is just first aid for when we go camping. Now, when we do a day hike that is going to be a short local hike, I have a little e-kit in a little plastic container that's just a ferro rod, a very tiny knife, lighter, a couple candles, and some band-aids. And that's just for a short local day hike. Little itty-bitty thing. I've showed it to you before, but maybe I should show it to you again. Of course, I gotta find it now. Let's see, I think it's in this bag here. Yeah, here it is. So this is my little local day hike e-kit, and it just has some wax-soaked cotton balls, a couple candles, little tiny mini tool, little tiny knife, antiseptic wipes, some band-aids, and a little mini ferro rod. It's got some cordage attached, a whistle of course, and my little bag for carrying things, you know, wood or food or whatever. So this is just a local short day hike that you know, I just want to think, you know, be prepared. So that's my little mini e-kit. That will go in that little purple fanny pack. Now, if I'm taking my side bag or my backpack with me, and it's a little bit longer adventure, maybe we're going a little further away, but it's still just a day hike, but you never know if you're going to get stuck out overnight. And I have my survival bag that I've showed you in a previous video. That is a Ziploc bag that has a tarp. Let me just get it and show you, just in case you didn't watch the first one. Let's see. I guess I should have stopped the camera. So in that backpack that I showed you earlier, we're doing a day hike, and we're gonna bring, you know, our little firebox with us. I have my little firebox kit that is a firebox, a ferro rod, some tinder, a pot holder. So when we're going out for a, you know, a day adventure, and you never know what might happen, this is my what I call my survival bag. And in here is some tissues, some paper towels, an extra pair of socks. I'm not going to pull it all apart because I've showed you this before. Extra pair of socks, a bandana, tea bags, some latex gloves, a small bottle of iodine with some vitamin C tablets, some protein, powdered protein drink, a light stick, an emergency, one of those thin emergency blankets, and along with that is my hammock gear hammock. It's a small hammock, not hammock. What am I saying? Hammock. It's a small tarp. It's a small tarp. I think it's 8x8, but it is waterproof and it packs up really small. So tarp from Hammock Gear. Okay, so that is my survival bag when we're taking the backpack out. We're doing a day adventure that might turn into an overnight survival thing. Okay. So the first aid kit that goes in my backpack, not when we go camping, it goes in my backpack. This is what's in this. Now I will still be doubled up on the ferro rods because I have a ferro rod in my firebox kit, and then there's also fire starter in this bag. This is the Bare Essentials bag. This is the bag that goes with you when you're not just doing a local day hike. That's the little e-kit, the little emergency kit. This is the Bare Essentials bag. This, along with this survival bag, if you do get stuck out there, as Dave Pearson says, you might not be comfortable, but you won't die. So in this, there's some vet wrap. I'm trying to get that sun so it's not glaring at you. If I move the phone over here, it's a little better maybe. There is paper and pen and a pencil. You might go, well, why? Well, maybe you want to write something down, but in case you want to leave instructions for somebody to find you if you got lost, or you can leave paper, little paper notes to yourself, I went this way. Now, my preferred way of marking a trail, if I think I'm lost, is I usually have a China marker or a Mason's crayon, because you can mark on rocks and trees with that, and you don't have to worry about it blowing away, or somebody changing it on you. You know, little elves come by and change the arrow. You know what I'm talking about if you watch that movie Labyrinth, and little gnomes were changing the rocks with the directions. It's kind of funny. But anyway, let's continue. So there's hand sanitizer, whistle, tick removal device, some alcohol pads, Benadryl, Band-Aids, gauze pads for wounds. There is gauze wrap. So most of the first aid stuff is in this side. And then on this side, what I have is a couple pieces of fat wood. That's pretty funny. I have a couple of latex gloves, some candles. This is, you're gonna love this. This is a pill bottle with, I filled it up with, shoved a bunch of cotton balls in it and then poured a little rubbing alcohol in there. So that's a nice fire starter. Some candles, there's a lighter. There's a spool of thread. There's a multi-tool, a small knife, and believe it or not, there's a small sharpening stone. I don't know where I got this, but I want to find another one. I don't know where to get it. Small knife, and one of those fire starters that you scrape and then on one side and then strike on the other. And thank you, Cookie, for letting us know that the water bottle's going by again. Thank you. You're gonna knock my camera down, dog. She's getting right up there by the camera. So this is what's in my Bare Essentials first aid kit, emergency kit. If you do get stuck out overnight, this will help you start a little fire, and you got some little first aid stuff going in there. And it kind of duplicates things that are in my firebox kit, but Cookie, come on, get out of the way. We don't always bring the firebox out with us. So when we go out for a day adventure, this is the first aid kit that we bring with us, along with that survival bag. Now, if we are planning on making a fire, in my firebox kit, I'll show you that too. So this is my firebox kit. So it will duplicate some of the things that are in this little kit, but I figure that's okay. Now, let me put this all back together again. My dog's got to bark to let you know that there's things going on in town here. So that's my Bare Essentials. These two things together will keep you from dying. And if we are going out for a day adventure and my husband says, hey, bring the firebox in case we want hot chocolate or just want to make a fire, in here, this is my firebox kit. And in this situation, it's okay, I think, to have doubled up on a fire starter, because it's okay. This is just the grab and go kit. I have my firebox. Yes, it is all folded up inside that little box. I have my pot holder. It was a full-size pot holder, but I cut it in half so it would fit in this bag. I have a pocket bellows. I have a ferro rod and striker. A couple of latex gloves. And in this little tin is some charcoal, from a previous fire, just some charcoal, some cotton balls, and some little fat wood shavings. So if we're going out for a day adventure and we say, listen, we might be stopping and making a fire, or we just want to bring it just in case, all I gotta do is I just grab this little bag and off we go. Just grab it and go. And it's okay that we're doubled up. 2 ferro rods is okay. 5 ferro rods is not okay. And I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to talk to you about. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too repetitive. I have a tendency to talk things to death and repeat myself a lot. You know, my poor hubby. Like my dog, I had to bark 100 times to tell you that there's a water bottle floating, you know, being blown by the wind down my driveway. Yeah, I think that's it. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it wasn't too long and boring for you. And have a good day today. And be blessed. And don't forget, go play with your dog. Go play with your dog. Where's my dog? Cookie. Hey, baby girl. She's getting up on the table. She's getting up on the table. It's about time you're showing me some attention. That's my dog. I love my dog. I love my dog.